Hey Money Guy family, it's your host Brian Preston back with another episode of Ask the Money Guy.
That's right. You guys have financial questions. We have financial answers. Go out to your favorite social, use the hashtag AskTheMoneyGuy, and you can ask us a question that we'll answer right here in Tesla.
It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Today's question actually comes from the Money Guy website, which is moneyguy.com. We have an ask feature right out there. It says, guys, why do you track your net worth yearly? Why not more often? I've been tracking net worth on a monthly basis, along with a budget, some other key metrics, cash flow, all the way back to 2012, and have found joy in doing so. And I think it's made me and my wife more thoughtful about our budget throughout the year. But it made me stop and think about the process, though, if the pros, me and you, I think are the ones that referencing, are doing so on a yearly basis. Should I change my process? And this comes from David. So David, that's a great question. Actually, it's one I feel like we get a lot, especially when we talk about net worth on the show.
By the way, I love net worth statements, and probably starting around October, Bo and I go ahead and start going, man, can't you wait to do an update on your net worth statement? Because the net worth is going to be that tool that you're going to be able to take the temperature of what's going on with your financial life.
That's right.
And for us, it is every year. And I want to kind of explain, why is it every year for us? Why is it for, this is Dave, you said?
David, yep.
Why is David doing it once a month? And this is the analogy I've put together for everybody. Good financial habits require nurturing, just like children. And you believe me, you have two little ones at the house. I have, one special needs child and then one teenager that will soon be an adult. And they all go through different cycles.
Right.
Let's face it, babies in the beginning, they poop a lot, they eat a lot, they cry a lot, and they sleep a lot.
I can vouch for all of those.
So they need a lot of attention.
Right.
You've got to really make sure that you're keeping on top of them so that nothing gets out of hand. They don't hurt themselves.
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing with your financial life. So if you're a person in the beginning, if you think about while you're trying to develop good financial habits, it's probably going to make sense that it might even go beyond monthly. You might have to look at these things weekly.
That's
you
right.
might have to look at them every other week while you're trying to get that positive affirmation of the behavior you're creating to make sure it is working out for you. Now, just like kids start growing up, they become more independent. The same thing happens with your financial life. And once you create a very healthy cash management plan, and this is after you graduate past budgeting, because remember, when you're in the beginning, you probably are doing basic budgeting where you're tracking expenses, you're tracking every receipt, you're making sure that every dollar is allocated in your army of dollar bills. But as your cash management plan goes beyond budgeting to now you have a purpose for every dollar and it's kind of happening automatically, you're going to find, just like as your kids get more independent, if you start looking at your financial statement every month, it's kind of like watching water boil.
Or grass grow.
Yeah, you're kind of diminishing that positive affirmation and the reinforcement that you get from looking at it. You're going to start going, man, I'm losing some of the excitement of looking at this thing. And that leads to the graduation point. And this is where I like to think where we are, Bo, is that we are looking at it once a year because our kids, our financial statements, have grown up. They're practically at the point that they're leaving the house. And you might be asking yourself, how do you know if your financial situation and your net worth statement specifically has gotten to the point of graduation and leaving the house? And here's a task that I always do, and an exercise you can do yourself. I want you to look at your net worth statement, and then I want you to look at what you made in annual income last year and compare the two. What was the change in your net worth statement, and then what was your annual income last year? If your change in your net worth statement quickly was approaching or even exceeded what your annual income was last year, I'm telling you, congratulations, you have created a healthy, income-producing adult net worth statement that is out there on its own and is creating the building blocks for really, truly being financially independent.
That's right. Essentially, your army of dollar bills is now officially working harder than you are. So one question we get all the time, Brian, is folks say, okay, well, I'm just starting out, I'm brand new, I'm going to do a net worth statement, but I'm going to wait till I actually have some net worth to do.
Right.
That's a huge problem. Even if you're someone listening and maybe you haven't done a net worth because you're a recent college graduate, or maybe your financial house isn't in the perfect place, there is no better time than right now to start tracking it. And you will be amazed once you put it on paper how it can begin to inform and adjust your behavior to move to where you ultimately want to be.
And I just want to add to that because, Bo, I think I'm guilty of a person that was making great financial decisions but not getting in the behavior of creating these annual net worth statements until I was in my early 30s. So I have over 15 years of data now, and it's fun to go look at it. But I got to tell you, how much cooler would it have been if I'd have been tracking that from when I was in my 20s?
That's right.
Because it also creates a benchmark that you can share. Look, you keep this stuff to yourself, but I know, Bo, you and I, we've talked about it because you're a few years younger than
That's
me.
right.
Not much, but a few that it's fun to kind of compare where you are, where I'm at, and then looking at that journey because it gives you a picture of what things, how they develop, and what you can kind of expect in the future. And I'm telling you, I hope you guys will watch this, and if you are not creating an annual net worth statement, you'll watch this video and go, man, I need to get into that positive behavior because it's exactly what Bo said. If you just get in the habit, you will be surprised. It's almost magical how your subconscious will start pushing you towards success by just doing the behavior of creating some type of metric to track your success.
So, David, this was a fantastic question. If you're listening to this and you have a financial question you'd like for us to answer, go out to your favorite social, use the hashtag AskTheMoneyGuy, or go to our website, moneyguy.com, and ask us a question right there.
I'm your host, Brian Preston. Mr. Bo Hansen, keep the questions coming.